London has how many museums?
Over 200.
Wow, that is a lot of museums. There's no way we're going to make it to all of them.
It is a lot. London has the most museums of any city in the world. And we are taking you to 5 amazing museums today to help you plan your next trip, so you can soak up all the art and culture that London has to offer.
Obviously, it would take like a year to go to each of these museums, and that's if you went every single day.
I mean, I would enjoy that, but I'm pretty sure you would hate it after about a week.
Yes, that would be insane. You're just a museum freak.
I just like cool and pretty stuff. I mean, why can't we have nice things?
So let's start with the biggest and most well-known of the museums, the British Museum, where there's a controversy over the art there that has been taken over the years and cultures from many different places. But it's all in one place for you to see, which is great. Overall, we really love the British Museum, and you need definitely more than one day. We have been before. This was our second trip, and I would even take a third or a fourth just to see the vast majority of stuff that they have, because even in those 2 days that we went, we were only able to tackle a little bit of the museum. So I suggest if you're going and you only do have a day, take maybe 5 specific things you want to see and go look at those sections rather than be stressed the whole time about getting through the whole museum, because there's no possible way you're going to see it all in one day.
Find those 5 or 6 things that you really want to see, and then you can see a lot of stuff on the way to each thing. I think that's probably the best way if you only have a day to go. 2 of the things that are must-see items, of course, the Rosetta Stone, because it's cool and everybody knows about it. But beware, it does travel. The first time that we went, it wasn't there.
Which was very disappointing.
And that was one of the main things we had wanted to see. But the second time it was there, so check before you go. The other is actually their atrium. I know that's a weird thing to say at a museum to go see, but it is really beautiful.
It is.
It's humongous, and it's just breathtaking when you walk into it with the high ceiling and the way it's sculpted around in a circle. Very, very beautiful. Obviously, you can see that very quickly and easily.
But there's little snack kiosks, there's a bookstore, the bathrooms are there. It's a big open thing, and it does have stuff to look at when you're in the atrium. So it's definitely a must-see of the museum. You'll also find lots of Egyptian statues, artifacts from back then, sarcophaguses, really amazing stuff to see. And I mean, just seeing them in person and the massive sizes of these things is awe-inspiring itself. They're really cool when you're there.
They also have a whole Grecian temple. I don't know how you get something like that on a wooden boat, 100, 200 years ago, however long they got it. But it's there, along with the caryatids. I don't know how you say the word. It's the big statues of people that hold up the temple. They have those from the Acropolis in Greece. Amazing. They should give it back. But hey, it's there, so you can see it if you go there. It's quite an amazing thing to see. And then completely different from mummies and sarcophagi and statues and all of that, they have this awesome library section. It's this great hall of books and art and sculptures. And then there's a whole other section of just clocks.
I mean, the clocks date all the way back to the beginning of when clocks were invented. It was really amazing. I have an affinity for everything to do with time. I even have a tattoo that says time is of the essence in French. I am obsessed with clocks, so seeing this room was amazing. It was inspiring to see how they created clocks and time from the beginning to where we are now with the digital age. It really is cool. I mean, they have some that are, I don't even remember the time period, 13 or 1400, and they're continuously moving and they have gadgets connected to them. It's just something that I never expected, but something now I have always wanted to see.
They have so many different things. It's not all just old, statues and Egyptian stuff. That's a lot of it, but they have other things too.
Yeah.
So definitely walk around, take a look before you go, and make sure you find the things that you want to see first.
The next museum that we went to was the Natural History Museum. Now, mind you, this is a really big museum. It has to be with all the collections that it has inside of it. However, it felt very dated. It was nice, and I really enjoyed some of the exhibits, but overall, everything felt old and not kept up very well.
Yeah, they were working on a new installation out front, but the inside could use a little love, and maybe they'll get to that. But a lot of the sections felt like they had been kind of done in the 80s maybe,
Yeah.
Or 90s even.
And I remember there was one section you wanted to go to that was closed off. and we couldn't even get to.
Yeah, they have a really neat staircase escalator that goes up through, like, into some cool exhibit, but that was closed. So if that's open when you go, try it. Let us know if it's worth going to. I missed out on it, so I don't know if it's good. I will say that all of the museums that we're reviewing are free. Entry is free. So that is a huge, huge plus for London.
Absolutely.
I love that their main museums are free to the public. We slipped a little 20-pound note in the donation box because I felt bad because we were going to a lot of museums and I was like, we should pay something. But it's great to take the family and not have to pay for a bunch of tickets.
And I will say, back to the museum, there is an entire section that's their water exhibit. Again, felt dated. Although one of my favorite things is there's this giant blue whale, right? It was a blue whale? Yeah, so there's this giant blue whale which is down closer to the floor so you can, look up close at it. But then hanging from the ceiling, they have orcas, they have dolphins, they even have little windows around that show different animals that are no longer here on Earth that, at one point roamed. So that section was very cool. Again, though, a little bit dated.
They have a great gallery also of dinosaur bones. Obviously, they're casts of real bones, but it's cool to see the scale of these dinosaurs and how big they were. And then, of course, my favorite part, they had this whole gem and mineral gallery room. It's huge.
So big.
It was so big, and I knew you didn't care like I did. I love shiny, pretty, colorful things, so I wanted to go see every case. Some of them were valuable diamonds and rubies and amethysts and things like that. A lot of it wasn't. They're just really cool minerals and hematite and all. I don't know the words for all of them.
Sulfur.
Yeah, but a lot of ites. Everything was an ite, like a sulfite or a calcium ite or whatever. But they're just really pretty, and you probably haven't seen them if you haven't been to a different natural history museum. And then in the way back of that giant gallery,
If you make it that far.
yeah, if you get through it all, in the way back there is a jewelry section, like actual big giant gemstones. So that was cool. It was a little small, but still worth it. It only took a couple minutes to go through it.
I will say too, though, that section was massive, and we had already been at this museum for, I want to say, 4 or 5 hours. So I was exhausted, my feet hurt, and it's aisles and aisles of gemstones to look at and different minerals and rocks. And it is cool, especially, growing up in the US, you only see certain things. So these are, rocks and minerals and gems from the other side of the world that you don't usually see in the US museums. Maybe you do in a few, but I haven't. And so it was cool.
This magnitude,
right?
So much,
right? So it was cool to see those. But God, I was exhausted at that point. So he is correct. I just wanted to get through it and be done for the day.
And the good thing about the Natural History Museum is it's not as big as the British Museum. You can get through the whole thing, in a day if you're pretty quick. You don't have to pick, 5 things before you go.
Right.
So that's a plus. It's free, and you can get through it all in one day.
It's also very kid-friendly, and
Sure.
Lots of people had kids or even school groups there. So it was a great adventure that anybody can go do.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. This is probably the most family-friendly
Yes.
museum that we went to. And if you're looking for another museum that's right there, across the street is very convenient, is the Victoria and Albert Museum, the V&A. You wouldn't think that it was any bigger than the Natural History Museum. They look, similar. It's hard to say. It's kind of a city block. That place is huge. There was so much to see in the V&A Museum, and it's an eclectic mix.
It was very eclectic.
Whereas the British Museum is kind of old sculpture, things like that, a lot of beautiful old things. The V&A is also beautiful old things, but man, there were statues, there was a whole Asian exhibit of Chinese and Japanese pieces, some ceramics, some art. Then they had an entire floor, and I mean, you wouldn't think this floor had every dish and vase and ceramic that was ever made, but they do, and it took me forever. I thought I was just gonna go through 3 or 4 rooms, but I kept walking in a straight line through room after room after room, and man, they had so much.
And I stopped after a while. I think we were almost at 4 hours at that point, and we got up to this floor with all these dishes and figurines, and just, I can't explain to you how many there were. There's no exaggeration that can explain it. The racks were, I want to say, 8 or 10 racks high, so they went almost up to the ceiling, and then they were just crowded with thousands of items. And so after a while of looking, I kind of get bored and I'm like, okay, what's next? But he loves that stuff.
And it was at the very top, like the 4th floor, and nobody was there.
Yeah,
I was almost alone. There was a couple people once in a while that I passed, which was nice for me. But, I think people just don't make it that high because there's so much.
I think they get bored.
Maybe. I loved it. If you just like looking at pretty things, you'll love it. But okay, that floor, how many plates, and bowls and pitchers can you really look at? And I mean, they're done by like grouping by like style and color and stuff. Amazing. But oh my, it's just so much. So I went through that as quick as I could and enjoyed as much of it as I could. But wound up going down after that into the jewelry section. There's like a gemstones and jewelry, and there's even swords, like bejeweled swords. Mm-hmm. So if you like swords, they're there. Beautiful. I love that stuff. Love anything with color that sparkles. Definitely should have been born a different gender, yes, because I can't wear any of it. I wish I could wear tiaras and necklaces, but I can still look at them and appreciate them, and they have plenty of that. There's like a 2-story gallery of all of the jewels. Definitely worth seeing if you have a chance.
Also, I will say attached to the sword section was a giant 2-story, maybe almost 3-story Chihuly glass that was gorgeous. Now, that's my cup of tea. I love Chihuly.
Absolutely. We took several pictures. It's beautiful. And then right nearby, they have another 2-story gallery. They love these 2-story galleries. And it's impressive.
Well, they have to with the size of the pieces.
I'm just surprised that they have that kind of space in these older buildings. Full of like giant columns, and they're all carved all the way around, up and down.
Hieroglyphics on them. They were really cool.
Lots of sculptures and old things from the medieval times. And if you're into the religious reliquary type stuff, they have a whole exhibit of that. There is just all of these, religious paintings, and there's like religious chalices and all of that. Tapestries, it's all there. There's so much to see. This is probably another one you may want to pick a few things or pick a few sections that you want to see, and then see what you can see along the way. And it was a little confusing trying to find your way around too.
They could have designed this museum better, because there are up and down floors. Where the columns were, we were able to see from the 2nd floor. We were never able to get to the ground floor of it because we couldn't find it. And then once we did finally find it, the museum was closing, so we weren't able to actually get to that floor. So navigating this museum is quite difficult. However, the vast majority of the stuff that they have is just really cool to see.
Yeah, a lot of the sections don't connect except at one spot. Like you have to go to a certain spot to get around to another floor. You can't just walk across like you would in most museums.
Well, you can. Like a lot of times there's a 2nd floor, and like the column floor, there's a bridgeway where they have art on this bridgeway, but you can still see over to see the bottom floor. But when you come down the stairs, you would think that the entry would be right there. No, it's not. It is actually on a different floor. So
you may want to grab a map and help you guide your way around. We were just sort of wandering. Beware. Grab a map, find your way around.
But overall, I will say we really enjoyed this museum. Lots to see, lots of cool stuff that you don't see at other museums. And it was very eclectic.
I think for the variety that they have, I mean, there's a whole section on furniture that I went through. I don't think you made it to that one either, but that was pretty cool. There's just so much between, medieval art and the giant columns and sculptures, plus all the gems and jewels, and the ceramics and the furniture. It's so much. So for the value, since it's free,
right?
That is a great museum to go see, because there's so much for everybody. Not as kid-friendly, I don't think, though.
No, definitely not. Next, we went to the Tate Modern, which is not to be confused with the Tate Britain. Tate Modern is very cool, weird pieces. They have Dali, Liechtenstein,
Degas, Matisse.
Yeah, it's just a very funky, conceptual type museum, and very different. I really enjoyed it. We started on the bottom floor of this museum. That was not interesting.
I think we missed the exhibits that had been there.
No, there were exhibits, remember? But it was very dark, and you walked around these columns, and then it was like almost dark inside where you could barely see anything. except for these sculptures that were behind ropes really far away. And I was like, I don't get this. Now, maybe some people love that, which is the whole point of art. You know, it's in the eye of the beholder. But for me, I did not enjoy the bottom level of this museum.
Yeah, I think the more permanent collections are on the upper floors. The bottom, I think, is for traveling exhibits, and we may have missed parts of them. But it's a really cool place overall. It's an old power station. So, you know, thick concrete, very open, wide spaces, and very tall.
Very tall.
So it's pretty neat, and it's on the other side of the Thames.
And there's a really cool view of the Millennial Bridge from there, or is it the Centennial Bridge?
No, you're right. It's the Millennium Bridge.
Yeah.
And yeah, as you're going through the museum, you just get these great views. So you're there for the art, but hey, you get a good view at the same time. And of course, it's free, just like all the other museums.
Yes.
This one's weird though, and maybe not super kid friendly because there's some weird parts that are a little suggestive.
Not just a little suggestive. There is a penis room. It is literally just a line of rooms with penises big and small. They have these little holes in the wall, which we're going to call glory holes. Don't know what they actually were, but I made JR take pictures in front of them just because it was I've never seen anything like this in a museum before. It was just very cool.
But you can just skip that with your children if you don't want to.
Which I would highly recommend.
But there were other modern art sections where they had, you know, a tower of radios that's playing, you know, music. They had a whole room of like instruments hanging about.
They had a room with fruit on the floor.
Yep,
like
fruit on the floor.
A very interesting. I forgot what the installation was, but it was 2 rooms full of that. It was very interesting to see.
It's very different, and like we said, they had some other pieces. There's some modern art by Lichtenstein and some other artists. There's some famous pieces, but it's not like other museums, you know, where it's just gallery after gallery of famous art.
Right.
These are a little fewer and far between. There's a lot of other artists that are probably lesser known that are there, and some of it's good, some of it's not so good.
Some of it's just terrible.
Hey, art is in the eye of the beholder, so it's very subjective. You decide what you like and what you don't like. But there is some good stuff there. So, you know, if you want something a little bit different, this is probably the place for you.
And I will say I probably enjoyed this museum more than the others because of the fact that it only took us like 2.5 hours to get through the whole thing. So I didn't actually get bored during the museum tour. We were able to see everything. And yeah, it was just a cool little few-hour trip that we took and really enjoyed.
But because it's on so many floors so high, there were a lot of escalators and stairs and elevators. So you take your pick of what you want, but you are going up and down a lot.
Yeah.
It's
and
not
if you're traveling with JR, that's fun because he's scared of heights. So going up open escalators where he can see the entire building.
They're open. They're just like, it's so wide open. I don't love it.
It's always amusing to me. He doesn't like it so much.
But I make myself do it so that we can get through it and tell you about it. The last museum that we're taking you to is the Wallace Collection. And you may not have heard of this one. I don't even know how I heard of this one, but it's different than most. It's very classical art from the 1700s, 1800s. It's a collection that a private owner had and donated to the city. It's in this beautiful old, probably house, but huge. Don't think house as in small. This place is very, very large. You can get through the whole thing, you know, in an afternoon. It's not as big as all that. Yeah. But it is a lot of rooms. They have all sorts of things you can see: furniture, china, artwork. What were all the little things under the? They have like a whole room of.
I don't know what they call them.
You had to pick up the fabric to look at these little.
It was very weird.
Things.
I've never seen that in a museum before.
Trinkets,
and
we'll say.
It's basically they don't want them to get hurt by the light, so they have them all covered. So you have to keep opening these flaps to see the art pieces, which are miniature. Like, it amazes me that people are able to make these things because they're super tiny little pictures that are actually little sculptures. And so it was cool to see. I mean, you know, the first like 15, 20 windows, then I got bored and JR kept looking at all of them.
I just want to see it all. There is a lot to see, so, you know, just take your time, look at everything. You can move along if you don't like it. It's a little crowded at times too. The rooms are a little bit smaller, being an older, you know, mansion.
Yeah.
So there were a lot of people trying to look under the little flaps. So you just watch out for your surroundings.
Except for once you go upstairs, it's not as small. So like it's more big open rooms upstairs for you to see these enormous art pieces, which were really cool. And I mean, you could tell a lot of them were done by the same artist. They have specifics, like certain artists had cats in their photos, certain ones had dead birds that had been hunted. It was
very classical, not
yes,
modern art
yes,
at all. This
not.
is from 200, 300 years ago.
Yeah, and it was interesting to see a lot of work from the same artist and see how they use the same stuff in their art, that if it had been spread out for different galleries, you would have never known that, you know, these pieces existed and, you know, there was a common theme.
There were a lot of portraits from some Dutch painters there, and they did a lot of ship art. It's because the Dutch were, you know, big into ships and all of that.
Still are, which
Yep.
we also loved seeing that section because this was on our journey here to Amsterdam. So we got to see a lot of, you know, Dutch artifacts and paintings and just stuff from, you know, way back when of the place that we were coming to live. So that was pretty neat.
Yeah. And then it leads into all of the furniture and ceramics and all of that, and chandeliers. Very beautiful, a lot of beautifully appointed rooms. So if you're into those types of things, you can go see that. And it's free as well. Maybe not the best for kids, I don't think.
No, kids would be bored.
It doesn't have a lot for them. Nothing's interactive. It's like being, you know, in a rich, famous person's house full of art and furnishings.
Yeah.
But beautiful.
For sure.
If you've been to any of these museums, tell us what your favorite thing was. Let the other people know who are watching what they should go see, what art you like.
Or didn't like.
Or didn't. What was your favorite thing? Okay, I'll tell you mine. I think the Grecian temple was probably my favorite at the British Museum. It's just really cool to see a whole temple that has been reconstructed there. That's probably one of my favorites.
I think mine is probably the Rosetta Stone. Even as basic as that is, it's just such a piece of history that seeing it in person is kind of inspiring to see that people created this and it's where written language came from. So I think that for me, even though it's, again, basic, it's one of my favorites.
No surprise that the British Museum has, you know, probably the most impressive collection of things. But the V&A, I think, is not to be discounted. They had so many beautiful things. I loved their jewelry section. That would be my next favorite. But definitely a lot to see at all of these places. And some of them had special exhibits. So even the British Museum had one at the time. Check before you go. There might be a special exhibit at the museum that you're going to. They may have something that's traveling and there for a specific amount of time. Usually you have to pay for those if you want to go, you know, see the whole thing. So just check before you go. Hopefully this has been helpful for you to plan your next museum trip to London. Join us on our next adventures. And as always, like, comment,
and subscribe.
And we'll see you next time.
Totsies!